نعم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نعم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Can you hear me? Hello.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. صوت حضرتك واضح.
نعم. واضح؟
والعرض واضح كمان أيضا.
العرض
بس
مفتوح؟
ممكن بس حضرتك تكبر لنا شاشة العرض عشان تبقى واضحة للجميع.
هكذا؟
تمام.
تمام، أوكي.
شكرا حضرتك.
لا شكرا الواجب. نبدأ؟
تفضل.
هل نبدأ؟
تفضل. نعم.
أوكي. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونتوب إليه ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. It is my honor to be here today to deliver a series of lectures on Islamic rules on sales. My name is Lokman Zakaria, a professor of Islamic jurisprudence at the Department of Religion Studies, Federal University of Kashiri in Nigeria. Today's class will be on the concept of sale. The concept of sale, يعني مفهوم البيع. It is important that we know the concept of sales and the definition before we can involve in the business. This is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbids many things for us and He permits many things for us. So in order for Muslims to eat in a lawful way, you must know what is lawful and what is unlawful. So that is why today's and the series of lectures are on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock in Kuwait time and in 2 o'clock in other countries. We be heard and we talk about al-bay' and ahkamuhu. The definition of al-bay', as you've seen, is the exchange of a valuable property with another valuable property, also with mutual consent. This definition is very general. It is not specific because it includes all types of sales, be it haram or halal, or in other words, sales of money with money. That is a sarf. And some of them may be unlawful and some of them may be lawful. But in a specific manner, al-bay' is the sale of a commodity in exchange for cash, meaning that you want to sell a commodity like a car, a house, a land, a computer with a cash. With money, any currency, be it dollar, pounds, dinar, dirham, real, and so on and so forth. In another definition, there is a transfer of ownership in exchange for another commodity. That is, you want to give up your ownership of a property. Let's say you have a car and you don't need it anymore, or you need money, but you have a car. So you want to exchange the car and you will have to give up the ownership of this car in order to get another commodity. It could be you need rice, you need any other commodities that will be beneficial for you than to have a car. You may have two cars and you want to get rid of one out of these two cars. I also say it can be defined as acquisition of ownership over a property in return for a consideration or compensation that is awarded. Sales also can be in terms of acquisition of the ownership of something. That is, I want to get something because of the compensation or the consideration. It could be, albeit, say you want to have a car because you work for someone which is equivalent to that car. So it will give you car in lieu of the money it's supposed to give you. So sales can be in different way. It could be you want to acquire a property, or it could be you want to give up the ownership of your property, or you want to exchange money with other commodities. The legality and importance of sale in Islam, it is undoubted because in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala categorically mentioned bay'. It says, وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. That is, Allah has permitted trade, al-bay'. Mentioning these particular style of exchange means that it is authentic, it is important, it is legal, it is allowed from Sharia point of view, and any other things like usury is forbidden, like a riba. In another verse of the Quran, Allah mentioned, "O you who believe, do not devour your property among yourselves unlawfully, but let there be among you trade by mutual consent. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون عن تجارة عن تراضي." That is, there must be a consent in doing this, and it shouldn't be in a wrongful manner. And there are other verses of the Quran that indicates that al-bay' is allowed from Sharia point of view. What about the hadith of the prophets? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported by Rafi' ibn Khudish that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says the best earning is what a person earns through his own effort, and all sale is done righteously. Okay, أفضل الكسب عمل الرجل بيده والبيع مبرور. That is, any kind of bay' that doesn't involve deception, cheating, and so on and so forth are accepted in Islam. In another hadith, it says, sale is constituted by mutual consent. That is, innamal bay' an taradi. So mentioning this kind of transaction in Islam in both Quran and hadith of the Prophet means that it is important and it is also legal to be done. What about the pillars of sales? Arkan al-Buyu'. We have three pillars, major pillars, and in each one of them, there are other subdivisions that we need to know before we can involve in business. The first one is expression, and the second one is contracting party, and the third one is subject matter. The expression is a sigha that you want to express, the statement you want to make, and the contracting parties are the two people who want to come together to exchange, and the subject matter is mahall al-aqd, the property you want to exchange. So let us go to the first pillar, which is expression. Expression is a statement made by both buyer and the seller. And in this expression is what they call al-ijab wal-qabul, offer and acceptance. But this offer and acceptance must be based on mutual consent, taradi. And once these is there, that is taradi, and we have offer and acceptance, it leads to a valid contract. Other than that, it could be invalid if there is no taradi or there is no offer and acceptance, as we will be explained in due course. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, for a contract is sale, contract sales to be valid, Allah says, "Oh, you who believe, do not wrongfully consume one another wealth, rather trade by mutual consent, and do not kill one another, for Allah is merciful to you." In Surah An-Nisa that we've recited before. So the taradi is emphasized in this verse, and a kind of trade that we're supposed to involve in. But there are many issues in ijab wal qabul. So I want to take ijab wal qabul to see how it works as a pillar of al-aqid or al-bay'. Al-Hanafi school, they say the establishment of a specific conduct implying the consent which comes from one of the two contracting parties is considered as ijab and qabul. In this definition, you can see that al-bay' wal-mushtari, the buyer and the seller, can do what they call offer and acceptance. It doesn't matter. So one who comes first to express his willingness to make a contract is making an offer. So anyone who comes first is regarded as someone who is offering something. It could be a buyer or a seller. So if a seller comes forward to say, I want this, I want to sell, then that will be offer. If the buyer comes first, say, I want to buy this, he is also considered as offering something. So the statement of one who comes second is acceptance, is considered as qabul. Now, the implication in this view is very obvious today in today's transaction. I will talk about that when we get to the majority view. The majority of scholars said offer is one who wants to sell. So it is for someone who wants to sell. And acceptance is for someone who wants to buy. So meaning that regardless of who comes first, whether the buyer comes, the buyer cannot be considered as giving acceptance, giving offer. And if the seller comes last, it is still considered as offering because it's the owner of the property. So the majority look at the principal object. Anyone who owns the principal object is considered as offering a property to sell. And the one who wants to buy it is considered as someone who wants to accept. So you will now see the importance of this definition into this transaction. Let us consider transferring money. Because today is a lecture, is not a workshop per se, but I will try as much as possible to interact with all of you on this platform. If I'm in Malaysia, and I want to get dinar, whether in Kuwait, or I want to get dollar in America, and I went to the money exchanger, and I say, I need dollar. Am I the buyer or the seller? Any answer from audience? Am I the buyer or am the seller? You can unmute yourself and answer if you can see me or hear what I'm saying. Hello? Are you there? Okay. No one is talking? Okay. Yeah, I see someone raising the hand. Can you permit the one who is raising the hand? Moderator? The moderator? Hello? Okay. The one who's raising the hand can talk. Hello? Okay. If nobody is talking, I will continue. Yeah.
كمل حضرتك كمل احنا مع حضرتك.
Okay. The problem of transaction, money transaction, if I go to the money exchanger and I need dollar, I am considered to be the buyer. I want to buy dollar. But if I want to sell my dollar, if I have dollar and I went to money exchanger and I said, I have dollar with me, I want to get rid of it, then I will be considered as seller. So in a one context, someone just sit down and a person who comes to him can be a seller and at the same time, he can be a buyer. So that is why the definition of Hanafi is very important to see that, yeah, you can be a seller, you can be a buyer. In as much as you have something to offer. So whenever you come first, you will be that offering the ijab. Then the negotiation will come between you and the owner of dollar who want to give you dollar or who want to give you ringgits. So coming forward is considered in Hanafi school, which is very apt to what we call money exchange today. But when it comes to other property, like I have my house, I want to sell it. So I will become the seller and the majority view will be applied. So I will offer my property and I will put price on it. Then someone will come to buy it. Okay. Condition of offer and acceptance is very important to know. The clarity of the statement of offer and acceptance must be known. That is, any ambiguous language shouldn't be used. When you are in Arab country, so you need to say the Arabic word that they say, ijab wal qabul, bi'tuka ishtaraytuk. So it must be very clear to both sides. The offer and the acceptance must be clear in terms of the statements. Also, unconditional expression of the acceptance. When I offer you my car, you cannot say, well, I will buy it if you can buy something from me. So you have put condition in it. That is not accepted. So there must be unconditional expression from the acceptance of the buyer of the property. The offer and acceptance must be done spontaneously in the majlis al-aqd, especially in some commodities that the price can be fluctuated within 1 second, like money exchange. Also, in other commodities as well, we have to seal the deal in the majlis al-aqd. The statement must be made in past or present perfect tense. That is, it must be fi'l al-madi or fi'l al-mudari', not future tense. So you have to say bi'tuka and ishtaraytu, or to say abi'u laka, I want to sell my property, or I sell my property for you, and you have to say I buy, or I bought and I sold. These statements must be made in this manner. Other than that, the business could be, or the aqd may be null and void. Simply because if you say it in the future, it is not binding, it is not aqd. that is binding on the two parties. The second pillar is the contracting parties. In contracting parties, it is expected that contracting party must be more than one, sorry. A single person cannot be a seller and a buyer at the same time. So if you want to have aqid, there must be a buyer and a seller. So two parties. The exemption is if a father wants to buy the property of his son or someone under him or the judge, then there is exemption that they can do it in that manner because they are also representing the seller. They are representing the seller. But in the contracting party, the most important thing is that they have what they call legal capacity, al-ahliya. The ahliya must be there. If there is no any ahliya, the contract, the bay will not be validated. So the condition governing the contracting parties are both must have legal capacity to perform the contracts. That is, both of them must attain the age of puberty. They must be free. They are not slave or they are not being sanctioned, okay? And there must be sin. Sanity is very important, al-aqil. Then maturity, al-bulugh, is very important. So if these shuruts are completed, then the contract of sale will be called valid. Both consents must be those consents to the contracts must not be under coercion, that is ikra. So both of them must have a free will of doing it, not because someone imposed it on them. Any coercion from any part of them, maybe the seller or the buyer, render the contract of sale invalid. Both have legal rights, ownership of exchange property. So you cannot go and steal a property and sell it. If you steal a property and you sell it, that sale is invalid. If you are caught and the property is traced, then it must be returned back to the owner and the buyer will lose, or if he doesn't know, his money can be retrieved from the seller and give it back to him. But if he
معذرة
knows,
دكتور
then now, yes.
بس can
أيوة.
you بس slow شوية slow و speak Arabic يعني
Okay.
الطلبة يعني يريد speak Arabic شوية بس عشان يفهم.
Okay, ما عليكم.
ماشي
Okay.
شكرا
What I mean
Thank you.
by لا شكر الواجب, what I mean by that is that both must have legal capacity, يعني الأهلية لإجراء العقد. They must be able to perform it legally. يعني they must be الكبير في السن, الحرية, العقل, والبلوغ. These shurut, this condition is are very important in sihat al-aqd. Second is that both consents to the contract must not be under coercion. Contract of sale يعني عقد البيع لا يجرى. Last, hello, can you hear me, moderator?
Hello.
Okay, now the last condition is both have legal rights, يعني الملكية لمحل العقد، يعني للسلعة مع كليهما. So if you steal يعني سرق السلعة وباعها ليس بصحيح. It is invalid for someone to steal and sell the commodity in the market. And the buyer could be penalized يعني يغرم المشتري إذا علم أن هذه السلعة مسروقة. If he knows that this commodity is stolen and he bought it, then he will lose his money. The third pillar, which is the last pillar, is what they call subject matter, the exchangeable thing. يعني محل العقد السلعة التي تراد بيعها. We have some element in it that is what they call principal objects. يعني السلعة التي تراد أن تباع المعروضة للبيع والprice يعني الثمن. So these two things are constituting what they call subject matter. So whenever you want to sell or you want to buy, what you want to buy must have a sale, the price. Without the price, we may not be able to conduct any contract of sale. يعني بدون الثمن لا يباع ولا يشترى. So the subject matter first is the principal object to be sold. And the price is the medium of exchange. يعني الثمن يعني الذي يستخدم لشراء السلع. Now, under the principal objects to be sold in السلع التي عرضت للبيع لابد أن يكون يعني معروفا, well defined. It must be well defined. That is, you must tell us the exact thing you want to sell. Particularize. يعني مصنف. يعني صنفه معروف. I want to sell my car. Okay? Then that car is Toyota. That is particularization from the general cars. Then once you do that, it must be specific thing. That is a Camry, is not any other thing, it's Camry. So all homogeneous commodity, that is a silat al-mithla, can be sold and can be priced. Anything that has similarity, we can know the exact thing of that property or commodity. We can sell it. It can be a silat التي تراد أن تباع. And it can be a price for another thing as well. But the condition there is that must be measurable. يعني and weigh. يوزن ويكال. or numbered يعد قابل للتعديد وقابل للوزن أو الكيل, such as wheat, rice, barley, dates, salt, palm oil, fruit, etc. هذه الأشياء يباع ويجعل كسعر because they are suitable to be exchanged. However, in terms of the price must be known and fixed, but it may not be particularized and it may not be specified thing. Let me explain. I can say I want to sell my car, Mercedes, year 2015, year model 2015, $1,000 $1,000 أمريكية. But that $1,000 أمريكية, it can be notes, يعني ورقة, and it can be coins, that is عملة, and it can be equivalent currency. I may exchange it with check for you. I may transfer it from Malaysia ringgits to Britain, then get to you as a dollar in America. So it is allowed. But in the principal object, it can't be like that. You cannot tell me that you want to sell a Mercedes model 2015 and you exchange it with other model. You cannot give me model 2016 in equivalent of 2018. No, I will not take it because they are not equal. So non-homogeneous gairul mithil like car, land, houses, trees cannot be used as price because they cannot become units of accounting. So you cannot count them because what is in the car could be different. It could be a leather seats and other fabric. The engine may not be the same, and so on and so forth. كذلك الأرض. الأرض can be يعني خصبة. It can be non-khizbah. So in that case, land cannot be the price, but they can be sold as principal objects. Houses also cannot be a price for something you want to sell because house is built in different ways and with different quality, like cement and other things that you use to build the house. Other condition of sale in Islamic law. First, condition for execution, yani shurut للتنفيذ. شروط تنفيذ البيع. Subject matter must be owned by the seller. We've said that. يعني لابد أن تكون السلعة ممتلك للبائع. If the seller doesn't have authority, ownership of the commodity, he cannot sell it, we cannot execute it. No right of a third party in the property to be sold. يعني ليس هناك ملكية لشخص آخر. For instance, Mr. A and Mr. B are the owners of a car. Mr. A cannot sell it to Mr. C without the consent of Mr. B because both of them are the owners of the car. Notes, sale becomes binding in the absence of options except with mutual consent of the parties. That is, once you sell and you buy, it becomes binding. يعني ملزم. البيع يكون ملزما. Okay, if there is no any خيار, you didn't give both of you الخيار. وفقا لحديث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم البيعان بالخيار. If there is no any خيار during the مجلس العقد, then it becomes binding. Except if both of you can be very generous to each other. Then if I return the commodity, I say I don't need it anymore, then you can take it. For instance, if you go to mall in Arab country or in the Western country, in your receipts, the fatur, they will write there that you can return this property within 24, 28, 30 days. يعني خلال شهر يعني بإمكانك أن ترد هذه السلعة إذا لم ترضى بشرائها. So this is what they call al-khiyar. But if there is no any khiyar, or in the fatur, they said, once you step out of this mall, you cannot return it back. يعني إذا خرجت من هذا الدكان يعني لا يحق لك أن ترد السلع. Then it becomes binding once you buy it and you pay. However, a valid sale contract could still be cancelled if the parties, and in particular, if the purchaser wants to exercise his option, like al-bayya'an bil khiyar, as I said. Another condition for the validity of sales is invalidity of a commodity sold for a limited time. So you cannot sell a commodity within 1 year. I sold this commodity for you for 1 year. No, that is not accepted. It is invalid to sell something like that because that is what they call lease al-ijar. It is not bay, it is ijar. Ijar is tamlik al-manfa'. You only have to use it, use the fruit of the property. Yani al-manfa' fil mabi' is the lease. And that is muwaqqat. Imma sana, sanatain, 20 sana. But al-bay' it is total transferring of the ownership from the owner to the purchaser, meaning that he owned the property from A to Z, and له حق التصرف في السلعة. He can sell it as he wants once he bought it from you. So that is why the condition of saying I sell this commodity for you for 1 year to put the limited time on it is not accepted. Also, it is invalid for a sale that involves coercion, yani ikra, or mistake, al-khata, or fraud, or gish. Also, it is not valid if a sale involves invalidating condition. That is to say, well, if I sell this commodity for you, you have to sell this for me. You can. That is invalid condition. الشرط الملغى غير معتبر أو المفسد للعقد. So if you condition al-aqd of bay' with another sales, then that is البيع أو العقد في عقد آخر وهذا ممنوع شرعا. Invalidity of sale that contains ambiguous terms and condition of payment. Say, where I will buy it from you, but I will not pay you until so time, or you didn't specify the time. So that is not accepted. Imposition of condition by the two parties. Valid, there are some valid conditions that two parties can impose on each other, and there are some void condition. The valid condition is condition that confirm the effect of sale. That is to say, to deliver the goods to your house. Because, okay, I want to buy this commodity. أريد أن أشتري هذه السلعة بشرط أن تنقل هذه السلعة إلى بيتي. فهو يضيف على السعر أجرة النقل إلى بيتك. So you can even increase the price that, okay, if you want me to deliver it to your house, the price is 2,000. But if you buy it now without transporting to your house, is 1,900. If you like, you pay 2,000 and the property will be delivered to you in your house. The second valid condition is a condition that it affects agree with the purpose of the contract. Like to say, well, if you want to buy it and you don't have money now, I need a guarantor to pledge of a guarantor. I need a guarantor because I don't know you. And I want my money to be given tomorrow or anytime you promise to pay. The last condition which is valid is the condition that any party say that are customarily accepted. Customarily accepted. So if any condition is customarily accepted, then that is allowed from Sharia point of view. But the void one, يعني الباطل الشروط الباطلة بين المتعاقدين. First, any condition that may favor one party at the detriment of another party in the business. يعني إذا كان الشرط من البائع أو من المشتري له ضرر للآخر، هذا غير مسموع. كأن يقال أبيع لك هذه السلعة على أن تهاجم عدوي، أو لا تنقل هذه السلعة إلى مكان كذا وكذا لو حق التصرف في السلع قد اشترى. So he can take it to anywhere he wants. So you cannot put that condition on him because it's daughter on him. Condition that leads to two contracts in one. يعني أي شرط الذي يفضي إلى اجتماع عقدين في عقد واحد is not accepted. Okay? Sale and the promise word to sell. So this is very important to talk about. Offer and acceptance must be in the past and present perfect tense as we said. يعني الإيجاب والقبول لابد أن يكون بصيغة الماضي والمضارع لا مستقبل. Okay? However, making offer and acceptance to sell and buy in the future is just a mere promise. يعني إذا وعدته أنك تريد أن تشتري بصيغة المستقبل, I will buy the property next year, or I will sell this property to you next year. That is what they call al-wa'd. And that wa'd is not binding. So no transfer of ownership in this type of contracts. You cannot say, okay, I start using the property, or the property has been promised to me to be bought and I can use it as I want. No, you cannot use it because the contract is not yet completed. But the fulfillment of this promise is encouraged and rewarding. يعني إذا نفذت هذا الوعد, when it is time you sell it, yes, of course, it is accepted and encouraged from Islamic point of view, but yet remains optional. That is, you have option to do it or undo it. A breach of promise is distinguished from a breach of contract. So there are two things there. Breach of promise يعني عدم موافاة في الوعد وعدم موافاة في العقد. So a breach of promise falls under a breach of morality. هذا متعلق بالأخلاقيات. So if someone doesn't fulfill the promise, it's under the breach of morality, and there is no any court that can litigate or can judge you or can impose anything on you because it is still promise, al-wa'd. However, if a contract is breached, okay, then it is a breach of law that may lead to legal action. يعني يفضي إلى المحاكمات. So the owner or the buyer or the seller can take any party to the court if the contract is breached. However, if the promise is breached, no one can take you to court. However, in another opinion, if there is a daughter that is harm is incurred from that breach of wa'd in the aqd, then the Maliki says that you can be compensated if there is any breach of wa'd. For instance, if I say, I will sell you my car next week, go and give your car for gift, and you dash someone your car, you do not have any car, so you're waiting for next week to buy the car, and when it is time, it says, no, I'm sorry, I cannot sell you the car. And you say, but you promised me, and you asked me to give out my car, which I've done. Then that could be a kind of litigation that Maliki says it could lead to litigation, and the court can involve in settling the dispute between the buyer and the seller. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. This is the last slide here. So we now have time to ask, comment, and also to give some insight from our experience. Thank you very much. Hello?
Thank you.
Yeah, let us open the floor. Yeah.
Thank you,
Nah.
Doctor.
You're welcome. Hello?
Hello, Doctor. مع حضرتك.
Yeah, نعم.
Finish?
الأسئلة والأجوبة. Yeah, the slide is finished. Only the question or comment or elaboration. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. تمام.
Any question from anybody? Hello? نعم. Hello?
أيوة معنا أبو زكريا.
نعم.
تفضل.
تفضل.
وبعدين إن شاء الله مصطفى. مصطفى طيب. أبو زكريا مش موجود. أبو زكريا تفضل افتح المايك.
نعم أنا معكم. هل من سائل؟
تفضل أبو زكريا. مصطفى. بندر تفضل افتح المايك. تفضل بندر تفضل افتح المايك.
Okay, allowed to talk.
خلاص thank you شكرا دكتور. شكلي كده ما فيش أسئلة. ما حدش بيفتح المايك. شكرا.
نعم. Okay. Okay, شكرا جزيلا. I think this is a very brief and for, I don't know the caliber of al-mustami'in, the audience, but I believe next week we are going to go into deep of this topic. We are going to talk about the types of contracts we have, the sales we have in Islamic law and their shuruts, and the one that is accepted and the one which is not accepted, and why they are not accepted. يعني العلة في التحريم لبعض العقود الإسلامية. So we try as much as possible to talk about all these types of contracts of sales, inshallah, next week. And I hope you will be with us and we have your questions so that we can have it as interactive rather than to be just lecturing. Thank you very much for coming. فجزاكم الله خير الجزاء والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله
السلام
تعالى.
عليكم.
وعليكم السلام. نعم.
Sorry, doctor. I just want my could share. Is it, can you provide the presentation or not?
The slide. Okay, it will be sent to the moderator and the moderator will send it to you, inshallah.
Inshallah. My question is going to be next, inshallah. When is the next lecture, inshallah?
Okay, on Tuesday next week, inshallah.
Inshallah. I will ask you, inshallah. Okay then. Jazakallah khair.
Okay. وإياكم. Any other comments? Any other?
Can see question and question. حضرتك ممكن تشوفي الأسئلة في question فيها.
My question.
موجود.
Hello. No, actually, I asked a question before. Hello.
Hello, doctor.
نعم. سؤالي من قبل. If you go to the money exchanger and you have dollar, you are in Kuwait, but you have dollar with you, and you go to money exchanger, are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm the buyer.
You are the
Because I'm
buyer.
the
Why?
seller. Sorry, I'm the seller because I want
You are
to
the
sell
seller.
my.
Why are you a seller?
Because I want to the exchange. I need to sell my money to them, out to the exchange shop, and the shop is going to buy it from me.
Okay, but if you go there with ringgit and with you are in Kuwait, isn't? You are in Kuwait. You are in Kuwait.
I'm not in Kuwait.
You are
I'm
in
in
Kuwait.
London.
Okay, you are in London. You are in London. You go to money exchanger in London.
Yes.
And you take dollar to money exchanger.
Okay.
And you need pounds. You need pounds.
Yes.
Are you a seller or a buyer?
Because I want to exchange. I'm the seller. My money to the,
you want to.
I'm the seller.
You want to sell. You are the
I'm
seller.
going to sell my dollar.
But if you have, but if you have a pound, you have a pound in Britain, in London, you have a pound.
Yes.
And you go to the money exchanger, you want dollar. Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm the buyer.
So you see the difference now?
Yes.
So what determines to be a buyer and a seller in money exchange is the currency of the country. If you go in Britain, if you have dollar in Britain and you need a pound, you want to buy pound or you want to sell dollar, or otherwise, vice versa. So the problem is here is that who has a bargain power? Yani kuwatil musahama. Oh, I want it to be like this. No, who is going to do offer? Who is going to do acceptance? يعني من له حق الإيجاب ومن له حق القبول. So that is where the gray area, yani, no one can define who is the offer, who is the acceptance in this scenario.
Okay,
but
for
the
example,
Hanafi school, yes, okay.
Okay, for this example, at the shop
Continue.
he put the rate. Okay, the shop offer for me, but at the end I accept it or I refuse. I accept it.
You reject it.
I refuse it.
Okay, so in that case, you are the acceptance. You are the one who want to buy, and we will call you that you have what they call acceptance. So anyone who want to buy something is called offering acceptance from the majority point of view. And the one who is going to sell is offering. That is why it has to put the price there. So the majority opinion is very easy to be applied. It's very easy to be applied, meaning that anyone who want to sell, if we put the price there, say, I want to sell it for 1,000. There is now, you are the, what they call, ijab. Then the couple will be from someone who want to buy, can I buy in this price? Then you will offer what they call acceptance. So once you have the acceptance, you will take it. But the Hanafi is looking at it from another way. I can go there and say, oh, please, can you sell it for me for less than the price you put there? So you offer as well, isn't? If you tell me that, oh, your car is 1,000, but I want to buy it for 800, it means I'm offering you the price I want, despite the fact that you have the price that you want to sell it. So the Hanafi say anyone who comes first to make a statement is considered to be ijab. Then the next one, the second one will be al-qabul. Even the seller can be al-qabul. So if he is the one who says something last. So in the scenario of bargaining, that I don't want to pay 1,000, I want to pay 500. Then in this case, you are offering, though you are the buyer, but you are offering. and the seller become qabul, it will accept your amount of money you want to sell. So that's where the definition of Hanafi and majority are very important to know. If you know them, how to practice them, you will know how to do bargaining when you want to do contract or you want to have an aqd in the buying and sale in the market. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
سارة
So
ممكن
if
تفتح
there's not
المايك؟
any question,
سارة
نعم أنا معكم. Sarah, okay.
سارة افتح المايك.
Okay, السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And my question is, if I have something to, if I buy something, then I want to sell it to another one, I must tell him about the original price.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I think inshallah next week or 2 weeks time we talk about that in details. But today I will quickly answer you. If you want to sell your commodity to another person, you are not obliged. That is, ليس بلازم عليك أن تخبري الثمن يعني السعر الأصلي. No, in the bay that you have, you are the owner of it, you can sell it as you like. You can put the market price there, you can lower the price, you can put the price up. In as much as you are the owner, يعني تملك هذه السلعة. The only time you can tell the buyer the price is when we are doing bay' ما يسمى ب murabaha. When you're doing the bay' of murabaha, that is, you want to get him the property, is not with you. You want to say, okay, you need a car, the car is in America, but the price is $1,000. And the shipment from America to Kuwait is $200, making $1,200. My own profit is 10% on top of it. So in 1,200, my profit is 10%. That is, how much is that? $120. So that is the only time you can explain to them the price of the commodity in original markets. But if you have bought the commodity, you went to America to buy the car for 1,000, you spend 200 to get it to Kuwait or America or Britain or anywhere, Malaysia, and it costs you total expenditure on that car is 1,200. You can offer people to sell it for 2,000. You can say you want to sell it for 1,005 because you are the owner of the property. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
And I'm allowed to change the price. I mean, I bought it for 1,000 and then I sell it for 1,020. I'm allowed. I mean, it's not haram.
Yes, it's not haram. Is halal. That is your riba. That is your riba. And the riba is not limited. So you can get 10% riba, 5% riba, 1% riba. In as much as both of you are happy. The one who want to buy is happy, and you who want to sell, you are happy, that you can sell it as you want. The only thing it is not good is that to exploit. That is, you bought it for 1,000 and you want to sell it for 2,000 or 3,000, making 100%, 200% profits. That is not good. It's makruh. It may not be haram, but it's makruh. Okay? But for you to make a small margin of profit, يعني الربح القليل هذا حلال. And هذا ما يسمى بالبيع. That is what the course says. That you want to make profit. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Unless if you want to do what they call a hadiyah, you don't want to make any profit, you are not doing business, then you can just give him at the price you got it. And that will be a hadiyah from you or musa'ada from you. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Okay, so I think we are now consumed 1
Thank you,
hour.
Doctor.
Yeah,
Thank you.
barakallahu fikum.
See you next week, inshallah.
By the grace of Allah.
شكرا. Thank you.
لا شكر للواجب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
عليكم
سبحانك
السلام
اللهم
ورحمة الله
وبحمدك
وبركاته.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك.